Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video, where we are back for another free-to-play F4 enhancement guide for the month of September, where we are going to be covering all of the characters who are going to be getting their force level enhancements unlocked, and I'm going to let you guys know, based off of my opinions and based off of my experiences with them on the JP side, which characters you should focus on in terms of unlocking their force levels and whatnot, based off of the resources that you can obtain in the month of September. So hopefully this guide helps out those especially who are free-to-play players in managing your resources and trying to figure out which characters you should go ahead and unlock their force level enhancements, so that way you can get the most out of your characters. And of course, we will be looking into characters, or a few characters in the month of October, so that way you know what is going to be coming up ahead of time, or at least a month ahead of time, so that way you know exactly what you're getting yourself into, so that way it'll help you out in making the right decisions. So of course, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So when it comes to the total free-to-play enhancement points and FR fragments for the month of September, in total for enhancement points, free-to-play players are going to be getting 30k, but we're also going to be getting an additional 5k because of the Final Fantasy Portal app, because they changed it for this month's Final Fantasy Portal app, where now one of the rewards, whenever we meet a certain amount of points within said app, we are now going to be getting an additional 5k enhancement points. So in total, we're going to be getting 35k, but I separated it because there's no exact date as to when we are going to get them. So as of right now, we are just going to be relying on the 30k. And then when it comes to the force fragments, we are actually going to be getting 160, because we do have the next 6 warrior quests, which does provide 60 force fragments. Now, all of these totals was provided from the website of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Tip.com. That link will be down in the description of the video. Many Opera Omnia players tend to use that site, for organization and all that good stuff, trying to figure out like what's going to be coming up in terms of like scheduling and all that good stuff. So if you want to check that out, you can check out the link in the description. Now, as a reminder for those who may not have seen any of my 2 previous guides, what do you get with force level enhancements unlocked at different levels? So between level 1 through 11, said character will be able to increase the FR gauge charge speed. They will also get an increase in the HP damage bonus boost after own turn during the force time, and they will also increase the brave and the HP damage cap up for their skill 1 and skill 2 whenever the force gauge is at 80% or higher. Now for force levels 11 through 21, you will increase further the FR gauge charge speed. You will also get an increase with the HP damage bonus boost after own turn during the force time, and said character will increase the brave / HP damage cap up for their EX or LD abilities whenever the force gauge is at 80% or higher. And then finally, for levels 21 through 30, they will increase it up to the maximum for the FR gauge charge speed. They will also increase to the maximum the HP damage bonus boost after own turn. And then finally, they will also increase the HP damage bonus boost after using skill 1 or skill 2 while the force time is active. Now, let's take a look at the characters that are going to be coming up for September. Now, I do apologize that I was a little bit late with this guide video. Things have been a little hectic on my side in terms of work, in terms of my move that is going to be coming up here in the next few weeks. So just overall, life in general has been a little bit busy. So I know that Lunafreya, Ultimecia, Yang, Lion, Cypher, and Bosch have already passed, but I'm still going to go ahead and include them in this videos for those who have been waiting. So again, I apologize for that. Just like I said, things have just been a little bit crazy over here on my end. So for Lunafreya and Ultimecia, Lunafreya is an FR charger, and you definitely, especially if you did pull for her, and if you're not going to be pulling very heavy for the rest of the month, unless like let's say like you're going to be going for Cor, then I will say that I would highly recommend that you max out her force level enhancements, because like 1, she's an FR charger, 2, like overall, like with what she does with her kit, like it's like you definitely want to take advantage of the bonuses that you get whenever you do have a force levels in unlocked. So you definitely want to make sure that you give her a 30 out of 30 when it comes to that. Ultimecia, for those who decided to green Ultimecia, and you definitely want to make sure that you get the most out of Ultimecia, so you definitely want to go ahead and 30 out of 30 her, so that way you can get the most when it comes to the HP damage cap, when it comes to the Brave damage cap, and all that good stuff when it comes to like helping out with adding that additional HP damage boost whenever you are using a force ability with Ultimecia, you know, all that good stuff. So for Ultimecia being a DPS character, you definitely want to make sure that if you are going to be planning on using her a very good amount, that you want to give her a 30 out of 30. At the bare minimum, you could probably go up to force level 23, and I chose force level 23 because force levels 3, 13, and 23 are the force levels that help in increasing the charge speed for your force gauge. So that's why I stop at 23, 13, and at 3, because I want to make sure that I at least get those passives unlocked. Normally players will go up to 20, but for me, I would recommend, and at least for myself, and if I was a free-to-play player, then I would at least go up to force level 23 if I don't plan on maxing out the character just yet, or if you're trying to manage your force fragments, stones, or your enhancement points. Yang is actually a solid character in my opinion. I feel like he does get overlooked, especially because remember, he does deal off-turn damage every single action that happens within like the whole fight. So like Yang is actually a pretty solid character. Like I actually gave him a 30 out of 30 later down the line, just because like I really do like the fact that like he hits for basically like anything that happens. So he's a pretty solid unit overall, and I feel like he does get overlooked a little bit, but he's actually pretty good. If you do have the additional force fragments, and if you are able to to unlock force levels for Yang, I would definitely give him at the most force level 23. Later down the line, if you want to go ahead and fully max him out, you can, but at the most you can definitely go with force level 23 out of 30. Lion, Cypher, and Bosch, I feel like I would say not a lot of players are going to use these three characters. Some players would, but for me, for this specific guide video, and because like I'm trying to like think as a free-to-play player, whenever I do these guides, I am gonna hold off on giving them any type of force level unlocks. So they are gonna be a pass for me, even though they are solid characters in what they do. But for me, since I don't really have too much of a connection with them, and like I've like just overall like they're like characters that I don't see myself using anytime soon. So I am going to hold off on giving them any of my resources. Iroha, Sabin, and Rajan is going to be the next banner that is going to be coming up as I am recording this video. Iroha, if you are planning to pull for her FR weapon, I would go at the minimum, like the lowest you can probably go is like force level 23. Again, you want to make sure you have those 3 passives unlocked. And plus, you will be able to add to the HP or get an increase in the HP damage bonus whenever you're using her skill 1, skill 2, EX, and LD ability. So you have that knocked out. So at the lowest, force level 23. If not, if you think you are going to be using Iroha a very good amount, then you can at least give her a 30 out of 30. Now, if you're not planning to pull for her FR weapon, you can go up to force level 23. Or if you're just going to be taking advantage of like what she offers, then you can probably go to force level 13. Or if not, if you don't think that you're going to be using her like that, or if you're going to be using her as a call ability, then I would say you could probably hold off on giving her any of your resources. 7, for me myself, I probably won't be using her like that, so I'm gonna be passing up on her. Rajan, I still use as an LD call ability. I don't really use him in the team like that, so I'm not going to be giving him any force level enhancements because like his call ability, if I'm not mistaken, does not really benefit from it. And really like the only thing I'm using Rajan is for his debuff from his LD call. So I mean like I am going to hold off on giving him any force level enhancements. Next up is going to be Sabin, Kuja and Quistis. Kuja, don't see myself using anytime soon. I would probably use him later down the line when he gets his next rework and then his BT rework. So I will probably hold off on giving him anything until a later date. Quistis, like, really the only thing that I see myself using Quistis for is like just to straight up delay. Same with call ability wise, is just straight up delay. So I would hold off on giving her any force level enhancements. But Sabin, though, he does get an FR weapon and whatnot. If he's like a favorite of yours, then, or if you know that you're gonna be using him like that, at the lowest you can probably go to force level 23. If not, if you are planning to use him a very good amount, then I would definitely give him a 30 out of 30. Now, a reminder to everybody, like, this guide and the list that you are seeing right here, like, this doesn't mean that you need to follow every single thing, because remember, I don't know what everybody's pool plans is going to be. I don't know what like overall in general you are going to be doing, like your playstyle and all that good stuff. Again, this is just me thinking as a free-to-play player and what I would do if I had these listed characters and I had to choose between like what characters would actually get said force level enhancements, because with the limited amount that we do get per month as a free-to-play player, like, you're pretty much restricted to like 1, maybe 2 characters at max. It just depends like on how you handle your resources and whatnot when it comes to your force resources and your enhancement points. So I just wanted to throw that out there for those who are thinking that I'm like saying you need to do this for every single character that has a color to it. That's not the case. So but anyways, moving on, we're gonna go on to Yuri, Elnaj, Yuffie, Gladio, Rydia, and Arciela. These characters are going to be on the banners for the next 6 warrior quests. So Yuri's going to be getting a BT. He already, he's going to be getting his FR and his BT, for those who are going to be pulling for Yuri, you definitely want to make sure that you take advantage of like every single thing that he offers in terms of like the DPS that he actually deals. Especially if you're going to be using his FR ability, then you want to make sure that you give him a 30 out of 30. At the lowest you could probably go with him would be force level 23. Again, you want to get those speed charge passives. So that's the lowest you could probably go with Yuri. But for those who are going to be pulling for Yuri and you know for sure you're going to be using him a very good amount, then I would definitely go a 30 out of 30. Elnaj is pretty much like the same deal, even though there's probably going to be a hefty amount of players that may actually hold off on like BT plusing him. If you are going to be BT plusing him and whatnot, and you're going to be using him a good amount, then again, 30 out of 30 is definitely the way to go, especially for BT plus units. And if you know that you are going to be going in with said BT plus unit, then yeah, you want to go ahead and do that. Gladio and Yuffie, I don't really see myself using aside from like maybe like farming purposes, or if not as a call ability. So I'm not gonna be giving her any type of resources, and I still have not on my JP account. Gladio, on the other hand, is gonna be one of the hyped up characters, because like for those who already have his kit, you're gonna be taking advantage of his C90, his rework, and all that good stuff, and he becomes a very solid tank. So, and he's a cover tank as well that can take no damage so long as his LD buff is active. So for those who already have him and are wanting to give him force level enhancements, I would highly recommend, because like I use Gladio a very hefty amount on my JP account. So I would definitely give him a 30 out of 30. At the lowest you could probably go 23, maybe even 13. But from my experiences on the JP side, like I use Gladio a very good amount. He actually pairs very well with Cor, who's going to be getting a rework and his FR weapon. So that's something to think about when it comes to that. But at the minimum, you can go up to 23, maybe 13. But for sure, I would recommend that you definitely go 30 out of 30, especially if you're going to be passing up on Yuri and Elnaj, and you're just going to be area 2 for the next 6 warrior quests. Then yeah, I would definitely give him that 30 out of 30. Rydia and Arciela, again, I mean, not again, but like call ability wise is pretty much how I use her, so I'm gonna hold off on that. Rydia, the reason why I actually put her at 13 out of 30 is because later down the line, she actually gets an FR weapon. The reason why I put that on there, or I at least put half of her name green, half of her name white, is because like she's optional. So like you can actually give her force level enhancements now. You can give it to her whenever she gets her FR weapon a few months from now. It just depends on like what you are wanting to do. Like Rydia, in my opinion, is a pretty solid character. So like you can do it now or you could do it later on, but at the minimum up to like just not even giving her any force level enhancements, then you can do up to force level 13. That way you have 2 out of the 3 force gauge charges passives active, excuse me. So that is for Rydia. Vayne, Leon, and Cyan are the next characters that is going to be coming after the 6 warrior quest. So Vayne, if you're going to be pulling for his FR weapon, for sure 30 out of 30 easily, because like he's going to need it. You want to make sure, especially for him being a DPS character, you want to make sure that he gets the most out of his force level enhancements, and that will equal just higher HP damage cap for him. So definitely want to give him a 30 out of 30. If anything, if you want to go up to like force level 23, that's fine too. Again, the charge passives are going to be unlocked for him, so that way he'll be able to contribute in increasing the force gauge. Leon and Cyan is basically like the same thing when it comes to what I mentioned with Rydia. It just depends like if you see yourself using them or if you're wanting to use them. You can give them up to like force level 13, so that way at least the skill 1 and skill 2 will benefit from the HP damage cap. If not, then you could probably hold off until a later date, so that you can unlock all of their force level passes and whatnot. And then finally, Cor, Gao, and Noctis. Cor, I know, is going to be one of the other hyped up characters for the month of September, so he is definitely a 30 out of 30, especially if you're going to be not pulling for any FRs up until Cor. Then yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you give him a 30 out of 30. Gao again, Gao is another character, you know, similar to Young, where I feel like he does tend to get overlooked, and the rework that he actually gets is actually pretty fire in my opinion. So Gao, at the most you could probably give him force level 23, or if not, you can go as low as force level 13. But again, like Gao, I feel like it's another character that does get a little bit overshadowed. So he is a character that can actually benefit from a lot of the current FRs that we have going up now. Even some of the FRs that is going to be released in the month of September, like example, like Cor, Gao and Cor together would actually pair really, really well. And then Noctis, of course, Noctis, you know, the reason why I left him white is because like I did unlock his force level enhancements, but after like maybe like a few times that I used them, I never really used them like that. So I mean that will change, of course, whenever he gets his FR weapon and whatnot. But as of right now, I would say you could, unless he is a big favorite of yours, then I would say you can probably hold off on giving him any force level enhancements. Now, finally, we're going to look at the characters to look out for, and this is some of the big characters that is going to be dropping for the month of October. Now, of course, there are other characters that are going to be released for the month of October who are going to be getting FR weapons like Leud, you have Ferris, you also have Aerith, and then you also have Balthier. I was actually considering putting either Aerith or Balthier on this slide, but I'm like, I feel like, I don't know, some people may question my reasoning for it, but I do think that both their FRs are very solid, especially Balthier's. Like Balthier's in one of the Shinryus from like 2 months ago, like was stupid destructive. But no, like in general though, like at least, you know, if I want to follow like the whole like meta and all that good stuff, or like just like the big hyped up characters, then like Arden, Tifa, and Renoa, all DPS characters, all very strong characters that are going to be released in October. So like if you are trying to hold off on your force fragments and all that good stuff, or your enhancement points, and you want to make sure that you get the most out of them, then these 3 characters for October are going to be the ones that that you should consider trying to save up some of your resources for, because they are very strong characters, and it's characters that should not be overlooked in my opinion. So with that being said though, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully it gives you a good idea of like what you should do as a free-to-play player when it comes to the limited resources that you have access to. Hopefully with this guide it'll kind of give you an idea of like what you can or cannot do. So again, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.